So I guess I've always worked with teams that have been co-located. They might not necessarily be sitting together, but they're always in the same office, and they will come together for meetings, stand-ups, that sort of thing. And it is very much heralded as something that, this is one of the success factors. You be co-located, your team's effective. So now that we're all dispersed and online, how do we maintain or even thrive in that sort of an environment?
Good question. How many hours have you got? It's a big topic, of course, and there's actually lots of Meetup. I don't know if you shop around a bit on Meetup site on this very topic. There've been lots of discussion lately on that, as you can imagine, and there's lots of good resources out there, actually. In fact, I recommend there is Stefan Wolfer. I think he's a German guy. He's doing from I think the Age of Product. I think is his group company called, and he's got a training course kind of workshop called Remote Agile. I recommend if you want to have a look. It's pretty good. It gives a lot of pointers on how to do this sort of stuff remotely. But yeah, big question. And well, tools like Miro, like I've used there, are quite good, right? I mean, I know I'm jumping into tools here, but it's a way to try and get that collaboration going, right? And that, it's true that most textbooks talk about Agile being it's best done co-located, right? Small team co-located, etc. That seems to be the how do you say, the received wisdom, right? But this is how things are done. And now this is like, oh, okay, wait, what happens now, right? So, and I think for me, actually, it's not so much, well, in my own experience right now, after being working from home for about a month, and as such as I'm such an extrovert. I'm actually finding it really hard because I'm the guy who wants to talk to people, who wants to brainstorm and do stuff like that, and it's really hard. But actually, I've got colleagues who are kind of, very introverted, and they're coders, and actually they're very productive. They love it because they've got less distraction. They can actually get stuff done. So I think it really depends on where where you are in the space there. It can very vary, I think. And then again, the big distinction that I make here is that it's not so much working from home as in the geographic separation. I mean, that's obviously not that great. I'd rather be face to face, right? I'd rather be on the whiteboard and brainstorming stuff. But there are tools like this one, like we're using now, that can sort of mitigate that problem, at least a bit. Right? But the biggest problem for me is being asynchronous. So separated, not so much geographically, but separated in time. And I'm not necessarily talking about time zones, although that's obviously a thing, but also because people are working from home they've got childcare problems, right? So some people are working mornings and then again in the evening or really early in the morning. And it's really hard to find a time where we're together in the same place, to do this synchronous work that needs to be sync, right? Like in time, like discussing real-time things. So with an inception workshop that I run sometimes, I try to sometimes think, okay, are they things that can be actually done asynchronously, right? So people can do that alone and think about it on their own. So we minimize the time we need to be to do on the meeting because it's hard to find the time. And I'd rather be face to face, but constraints are what they are, right? Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think, the biggest challenge that we've seen is that those kind of over the top of the screen conversations where you can just ask something and get an instant response, even with instant messaging, all of that sort of stuff, there is still that asynchronous process there.
Yeah.
And I think you're right in terms of the personality types as well. Not just kind of introvert, extrovert, but also, if you, like you are an external processor, you want to grab somebody and get a whiteboard and then bounce ideas off people. You then have to turn to different and new tools to try and achieve the same thing online.